Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
TexAgs Live.
I feel like I should be listening to the theme song from the Jeffersons. You know, we're moving on up.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
It's a blessing to be in this position, and we're just thankful to be here. We're thankful to have the opportunity to go out there and play in front of the 12 men.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
It's been special. The 12th man this past week was unbelievable.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
We're the Aggies, Olin.
The Aggies are we.
Welcome into TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studios to go hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. He's Olin Buchanan.
He's David Nuño.
Thank you. Appreciate that. How did you know to do that? Just what we do.
He's Olin Buchanan. He's David Nuño.
Hey, we've got a lot of stuff to get into. Breaking news yesterday.
News. Yeah.
The SEC is going to add that 9th game.
It was inevitable.
Yep.
Quite frankly, I wish they'd played 10 conference games, but 9 is positive. It's progress. And also going to always play at least one Power 5 opponent. I assume that they are confident, if the deal hadn't already been done under the table, that ESPN's going to sweeten the deal.
Oh, they are. I think I read that yesterday.
Is it done, or is it just?
We're talking about, is the 9th game done?
No. Is the deal actually done that they're going to get a better? More
no,
money
I don't think
TV?
it's a better TV package,
just,
but they're going to get more money for the extra game. Yes, right. Like they're going to get that portion of it. But I think we're going to have to get used to not just A&M, everybody adjusting what you think good records are.
I think if you have 12 teams in a playoff, that's eventually going to be 16.
And maybe next year 16.
Yeah. That's how you're going to define a good year.
You're one of the 16 best
You're one
teams.
Of the 16.
Yeah, and what do you think about those that said the SEC bent the knee to the Big Ten? Because this is what the Big Ten wanted, they demanded, and the SEC gave it to them.
Well,
maybe the SEC always wanted 9 games, but they used it as a bargaining chip.
I think they always wanted 9 games, and they wanted. I could have told you. In fact, I actually thought about it and I didn't say it, but I could have told you yesterday before it came out. I wouldn't have told you this was going to happen yesterday. But you know what was one of the big stories that we reported yesterday was that the playoff committee
changed the rules.
Said they're going to change the rules, and it's going to include more of a strength of schedule component.
Timing. I wonder why.
And the SEC had always said, yes, we're open to expanding, but we want some assurances because not all conferences are the same. So we want some assurances that there's going to put more emphasis on strength of schedule. They come out and say, hey, we're going to put more emphasis on strength of schedule. What do you know? The SEC says, yeah, okay, we'll play 9 games.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So I don't think they bent the knee. I think it might be the other way around.
I think everything's bargaining, right? You're trying to get what you want, and then maybe a little bit of deception, you paint one picture. Because remember, initially, they wanted the 4-4 formula, and then they changed to the 5-11.
Right.
And people were surprised at the SEC. Everything to me is, we're going to get what we want, even if we have to manipulate how we get there. And
you know what it is? It's Greg Sankey exercising the art of the deal. I've heard that phrase somewhere.
Yeah. I bet you more than once. So now a couple things. So they're going to release the schedule.
So you kind of trumped him.
He did. They're going to release the schedule in December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they'll make it a big old TV event, I'm sure.
Yeah.
hey, we got these teams and this team. But then we'll find out who A&M's 3 permanent opponents are.
Now, under the previous athletic director, it's my understanding a couple years ago, the SEC, when there's talk about possible 9 games schedule, they asked every team to send a list in order of the teams they want to play every year.
Yep.
The 3. And A&M put in LSU, Texas, and Mississippi State.
Correct.
So
why do you think Mississippi State?
I think there's a certain amount of history there, believe it or not. I think they just like the game. You know, Jackie Sherrill coached there. Emory Ballard coached there. In a lot of ways, they're similar schools. Both wear maroon. Both are, is it land grant? You know, both have, you know, a bunch of douchebag elitists from the other side of the state that they...
would you say from the SEC that is our 3rd rival?
I don't know. I mean, if you argued Arkansas, I could see that, right?
I would prefer Mississippi State.
You know, if you said South Carolina, well, you know, the Bonham Trophy.
It's the biggest trophy that there is.
Named after somebody.
Yeah.
Bonham.
Bonham, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the Bonham Trophy means a lot to you.
I like the South Carolina game.
I like South Carolina.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, here's what you got to do. You got to decide. Here's how you decide between those 3. Which can you accept better? The ridiculous crowing rooster after every first down, the cowbells, or the big suey calling of the hogs.
Right.
And decide which you think is the least annoying, and that's the way you want to go. So that's my survey question today. Which is the least annoying? The high-pitched cock crowing when at South Carolina after each first down, the cowbells, or the calling of the hogs?
I just want the easiest path. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm sorry, because when we do bank on it later, I'm gonna bank on Georgia being on an A&M schedule next year. I'm banking on that.
Yeah.
That's going to happen now.
Yeah. Maybe we'll even go to Kentucky.
Maybe.
Kroger Field.
But this is going to allow more of that kind of every, 3 seasons you play. Is it every 3 seasons? By the 4 years you're in college, you should be able to play everybody.
Home and away and all those things.
Yeah.
Is Kroger Field named after Larry Kroger, the main character on Animal House?
You know, I have watched Animal House. I did not remember that being his name.
You know, the guy that Pinto, I think, was
his actor name?
No, was his Delta Chi name.
Oh, Pinto.
Why
Yeah.
Pinto? Why not? Okay, moving on.
So if it is those 3, okay, and then people are saying Texas will probably get Arkansas, A&M, Oklahoma. Bama would probably get
Tennessee, Auburn, and
LSU.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, LSU. I would think the one out there is LSU. That's the wild card.
Yeah.
It was really kind of a hot rivalry. First of all, because for a long time, the West was going to be decided typically between those 2. And then you had the Nick Saban thing because he's in both places. But I don't know, maybe if it'll stay the same. I would think LSU wants to play A&M and Ole Miss for sure, and maybe even Florida because they got something on with Florida.
Yeah. And then Georgia.
Georgia wants to play Florida.
Yep.
Wants to play Auburn, and probably wants to play Tennessee.
Oklahoma gets Texas.
Texas, probably Arkansas, and I don't know who else they would have a thing with.
Me neither.
Missouri?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe Missouri.
If not A&M, Missouri.
Would you rather have Missouri on A&M's 3 or Arkansas?
Probably Arkansas. Missouri just sometimes, is it just me, or do you sometimes forget Missouri's in the
I forget
SEC if you're not playing them?
I forget.
I'll be thinking, okay, there's 15 teams. 16 teams. Okay, I've got 15 of them. Which one? Oh, yeah. Oh, Missouri.
Obie, where are we right now? The particular area.
The Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
No, I just wanted to make sure we knew that.
Right here.
It's very cool here in the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. If you want to be a part of the conversation this morning, you can call us up, 979-693-1150. That phone number is?
You want me to repeat the number?
No,
or do you want me to tell you it's the Buppy's Catering and Bartending
That's
hotline?
what I wanted.
Okay,
Yes, that's what I wanted. Yeah, Buppy's Catering.
I need to practice this.
Yeah, Buppy's Catering and Bartending hotline. By the way, it's game week next week.
It is game week.
So we're going to have like a different level of intensity.
Yes, it all changed. It's no longer fun and games.
Oh, it is. On Fridays, it's a lot of fun and games. It's a lot of fun and games on Fridays.
Especially when the McKinney brothers come in.
Exactly. All right, let's go around the room, left to right, to say hi to the people. Behind the glass is panicking Cade Bickham.
Good morning. Yes. No panic right now, though. We're doing all right.
What if I just told you to talk for a little bit? Would you panic if I just said, all right, go?
No, I can go. In terms of the new schedule, I think that the most intriguing thing for me is like thinking about the teams that we haven't played a lot, that A&M hasn't played a lot, and getting to go places that they haven't gone. So like you guys were talking about Kentucky.
That's the only place.
Georgia's. I mean, they've been to Georgia, but Georgia hasn't been here. Trying to think of some other SEC East. I mean, they've played Florida a good amount, but not a ton. I think Tennessee's another interesting one where they've only been to how many times, Reese, can you give me how many times they've played Tennessee since they joined the conference?
Well, twice in both places.
Twice in both places?
Yeah. Remember, they had that classic game, but they won in overtime.
2016.
Against Tennessee. Seems that maybe did Tennessee come here a second time? Maybe that's No, 2020, A&M went there and won.
Okay.
And then so it's 3 times.
Yeah, we went there twice.
And
they've been here once.
Okay, yeah. 3 times.
I think it was, the 23 season that we went there? 2020.
Jimbo's last season when,
2016 here.
Didn't call a quarterback sneak on 4th and 1. Like, what are you doing?
Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Reese Nygren already said some words. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning. How are y'all?
I'm well, thank you.
So another wrinkle with the new schedule is, it's not new, it's just being re-implemented, is you have to play a Power 4 opponent or Notre Dame. Well, luckily A&M has already scheduled that because they have the home and home with Arizona State in 26 and 27, and then they have a home and home with Louisville in 28 and 29. But my question to you guys is, would you rather for that out-of-conference opponent be a Northwestern type, or would you rather it be the big marquee game like with Notre Dame and when we had Clemson?
I would love to get to a point where marquee games, I'm looking at them. It's a slippery slope, Opie, because you want to play them, right? And if strength of schedule is going to matter as much as they say it is with this new thing, then I'm all for it. But I do remember, by the way, we play in the SEC. Right, and you're going to probably have Georgia. You're probably going to have Alabama. You're definitely going to have Texas, right? So,
I always loved the mindset.
Bring them on.
Of the great R.C. Slocum, would just say anybody, anytime, anywhere.
Yep.
And with the strength of schedule component, there's no reason to duck anybody. Plus, if you're good, why do you care?
The word is if.
Well, the point is that you're aspiring to be good.
I want to be that. I don't care who it is, let's play. But I also would like a year where I could look at the schedule and be like, good, give me all the criticism that Texas got. I'm fine with it. I deserve to have a nice season, an easier SEC season.
Well, here's where you run into, though. It's like, and this is no shot at Texas. Applaud Texas for going out last year and scheduling Michigan.
Yeah. And Ohio State this year.
But what I'm saying is, what I know about Michigan is you can't blame Texas for that. Michigan sucked. They scheduled a good program. Now, they didn't pick up their end of the couch. And maybe Notre Dame's not going to pick up their end of the couch this year.
Right.
Or maybe Ohio State won't. So you run into that. When A&M scheduled Arizona State, maybe it's probably looked at as, okay, there's a walkover.
Right. And now it doesn't feel that way.
And now if they keep trending the way they were, that looks like it's going to be a tough series.
Sure.
So I guess what I'm saying is,
you don't know.
Play whoever because they might be good. But I'll say this: one of the things that I think was a low point, or at least a precursor to a low point of A&M's trajectory, was when Dennis Franchione took over. They were scheduled to play, I think, Oregon and Michigan State, not in the same year, and they started canceling those games.
Yeah, that's right.
And they canceled them because they wanted to make it easier to get into a bowl game. I'm like, what are you doing? Has A&M gotten so bad that they need to play weak teams just to be able to win enough games to get a bowl game?
Unfortunately, at that era, yes.
Well, but I mean, and no one wasn't embarrassed by that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be that program. I want to be the program under R.C. Slocum that'll say,
bring them on.
Let's play Florida State to start here. Let's play Nebraska.
Yeah.
Let's go out and play that game at Stanford when Stanford was good. Not, this team is tough. We don't want to play them because we're scared. The hell with that. So schedule freaking, let me schedule it. Basically, I'd schedule places I want to go.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
You want to go to Wisconsin?
Yeah, I'd love to see a game at Camp Randall.
Okay.
OB, I totally agree with you. I think that.
Well, I feel better now.
Now you got to take it the opposite.
Especially with the Arizona State matchup, given how the Big 12 is aligned now, they could be one of the 2 or 3 teams that's atop that conference for a while now. So that could be, especially in 27, that could be a real marquee matchup.
Why don't you play Baylor every year? Maybe you don't want to, but we'll talk about an easy game and a decent program. And I'm not saying it's an easy opponent, a decent program and
right
90 miles away.
My thing is, though,
think of the money we'd save on travel.
What rules is everybody else like? What is everybody else doing? If all the other teams in the SEC are what?
What'd your mother say? If everybody's going to jump off a bridge, is that what you're going to do?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, if we get used to teams not scheduling the marquee games, I don't want to be the one team that's scheduling all the marquee. I want a little bit of everything, right? Let's sample Ohio State. Let's sample Michigan. Let's sample some teams in the ACC if there's even an ACC. I'm okay with that, but I don't think every year needs to be a top 10 killer.
What I'm saying is you don't know if it's going to be.
Yeah.
Let's say you're going to schedule Iowa. Want to go to Iowa City and cover a game?
I don't, actually.
You don't want to wave at the kids in the
No, I don't wave at people. I'm not a waver. I just head nod.
The kids in the hospital, right?
I wave at them. I'm sorry. Yes.
But the point I'm saying is you could schedule Iowa, and they're okay. But every now and then, Iowa jumps up and has a top.
Illinois, baby, this year.
Illinois.
Hawaii.
By the way, I've been to Champaign or bringing up. Man, you want to talk about remote?
Yeah.
But and if you scheduled Illinois 5 years ago, it's a walkover game. All of a sudden, Burt has them playing pretty well.
Let's do this, OB.
Okay.
Let's hit a break.
All right.
Come back to 25 and 25, the number 1 player on the list.
Number 1.
Okay. I think everybody knows who that is.
I do.
Okay. And I want to touch on it, and then I also want to kind of go through how we got here. Okay.
All right.
Because some people are like, it's our list. No. It's our list. You.
It's the go our list,
not your. Okay, so we'll do that.
It's been Reese's list.
Did you vote?
I did not.
Okay.
Oh, it's not his
He's out.
list.
Deport him. All right, let's
Sydney back to LaGrange,
please, as soon as possible. You know where I went to eat yesterday?
Did you go to 1775?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about it.
I know. So here's the truth. I got there.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Brad. I was like, look, I can't have too much fat today, right?
Wait, Brad? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Morgan went with me. Hey, Morgan. Yeah. Right? And I said, look, I can't have too much fat. So I think I'm gonna go with turkey. Any other suggestions? Yeah, if you want to go lean, you can go lean. And then I go, you know what though? I think I'm gonna go lean and I'm gonna go fat. Give me the ribs.
There you go.
And then he goes, well, do you want a side?
Ribs?
Yeah, of course,
oh,
bro.
Man, they were.
And then he goes, do you want a side? I was like, no, this is good. And then I go, maybe I'll just try the macaroni, the queso mac and cheese. I'll just try it. I went for it first, and I inhaled the entire. It's
hell yeah, you did.
I've undersold it. It is perfect. Elizabeth, queso mac and cheese, very similar rating. Right?
Yeah.
Kids, queso mac. Okay, very
Queso
similar
mac
rating.
and cheese with the edge, but
Barely. But it's that good. And then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have one rib and take the rest home.
No, you can't have one rib.
So I did half and half, and then 2 hours later, I did the other half.
Yeah. My kids don't. I can't save this for my kids.
No,
I've got to eat it.
That was my thinking. I got home, I had my little container. I'm like, and I saw Annalise looking at it. What's in there, Dad? I go, oh, nothing.
What I would do is I would grab that big rib, and someone said, "Hey," looking at it like they want it, and I want to share.
Yeah.
So I'd go, "Here, you want some?"
Can you look in the camera and do that again?
I would lick all over that rib. And then I'd say, "Hey, you want something?" They'd probably go, "No, I don't think so." But you know what? It's so good at 1775 that I'd say, "Yeah, give it to me anyway."
We'll be back. Hey everyone, David Nuño and Olin Buchanan and OB. Typically we start off the show in this section and we call it the Holistic Planning Cool
The cool zone, yeah. It's pretty cool.
What do we know about holistic planning?
Well, a lot of cool stuff. For instance, holistic planning can help you with your investments.
I love that.
They can help you with your taxes. So
I don't like paying taxes.
You can get that money from your investments and they keep it, they'll help you keep it away from the government.
Yep.
Not all of it, but more of it. And then they'll even help you with your estate planning. When you're old like me, you got to make sure some of that money you made is there for when you want to retire and just enjoy the rest of your life.
You want your estate to be planned, but they also do something else.
Yeah, well, if you are like, say, a sports fan and you've always wanted to...
Everybody watching us, right?
Yeah. And you want to always dream of being an owner, well, in a certain way you can, because they will broker the deal for you to invest in pro sports.
Yeah, what you need to do is check out investinprosports.com. That's where you can get all the information if you want to invest in a team. I don't know what team. He'd probably try to buy the Cowboys. I'd try to buy a lot of the Houston teams. Whatever it may be, investinprosports.com. It is holistic planning, and we love hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. All right, 25 and 25, presented by La Casa Tequila.
La Casa Tequila C.
Raised in Aggieland.
Rooted in the SEC.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
You saved your best performance for last. That was good.
Is this the last one?
This is number
one.
something
I don't know?
It's not, hopefully not your last show. You're the last one of 25 and 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Number one, ladies and gentlemen, is Le'Veon Moss.
Number 8 in your program.
Number one in your hearts.
Number 1 in your hearts. Number 1 on 25 for 25.
Unanimous between, I don't have the fan vote, but I do have your vote. I have my vote. I have Billy's vote.
All you had to do to understand that he's number 1 is look at what they were last year with him in the lineup and what they were without. I mean, they're a team that
they were 7-1 with him in the lineup,
right? And they're surging. And remember, he got hurt at the end of a 20-yard game. You know, so and then he's out, and the offense just wasn't the same. I mean, what a spectacular player! He missed. Think about this. He missed a third of the season.
Yeah,
and was still all SEC. And you know the SEC media that votes, they don't typically give a lot of benefit of doubt to Aggies.
No, they don't.
But there was no doubt about Le'Veon Moss. You know, he likes to. All those foes that he faced, he ran right through their face.
He ran through those foes.
And then this year, he's going to run through mofo's face.
Did you prepare that one?
Yes, I did, actually. Maybe you missed my column, but he has a very colorful description of his purpose. That's to run through their faces.
So let's kind of explain, because Billy and I will break it down a little bit more, but let's explain how we got here. So you have a list.
Yes.
I have a list.
Mm-hmm.
Billy has a list.
And none of us have eaten the list.
And no, the list eater. I don't know if you know that story.
She probably has a list.
And a lisp and a list. Did you know that?
All of them.
I don't know if
she has a list.
I think I made that up. And then the fans have a
vote.
A vote, right?
A collective.
Our own collective, right?
Yes.
From the premium boards. And then Matthew Dawson, the smartest guy that we know, who sometimes comes to work, he puts it into this algorithm and it spits out how we got our 25 and 25. Okay? And the way I do it is I look at my rankings based on the present, like what I think on that day. I did mine, let's call it July 1st.
Uh-huh.
What I think of them. Do I think some of these guys are going to be risers? Yeah, I do, right? But based on the intel that we have coming into that day, based on what I've seen with my own eyes, and I typically, I don't want to say I take away points for being a freshman.
Okay.
But they don't factor as strong. Now, Marco Jones made my list. Okay.
Yeah.
But they don't factor as strong.
Right.
And that's how I do mine.
I put more emphasis on productivity than potential, although I will take potential into consideration. And quite frankly, I do it like very simple. We're playing football in the schoolyard, and it's my turn to pick.
Yeah.
Who am I taking? First guy I'm taking is Le'Veon Moss.
I'm going to give you your top 5, if you're okay with that.
No,
you care with me sharing it?
I'm fine.
Number 1, Le'Veon Moss.
All right, I feel good about that.
Number 2 on your list was Will Lee.
Okay, all SEC.
Okay. He was 3 overall, but he was 2. Trey Zune, number 3.
Okay.
Cassius Howell, number 4.
All right.
Armage, number 5.
I'll stand by all that.
Okay. And I had, somewhat similar, Le'Veon Moss, number 1. Will Lee, 2. Trey Zune, 3. Armage 4, KC 5.
Okay.
So that's how I got mine.
All right.
So,
and I'm sure I probably had KC in the top 10. I don't know for a fact, but yeah, I can't remember for a fact.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah. Where did I have him? Did I not have him in the top 10?
You had KC at number 7.
He is in the top 10.
Yeah. Marcel Reed on your list was 9.
9.
Okay. Marcel on my list was 7.
Okay. All very similar.
Yeah.
So
I would love for Marcel to jump into my top 3.
I would like for Marcel to be number 1.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
If Marcel's number 1
at the end of the year,
and everybody else does what we expect them to do, like Le'Veon is still a boss and Will Lee and all that, then I think you got yourself a pretty special season.
And it could be very special. Yesterday I was in Austin talking to a group, the Texas Medical Association, about a preseason kickoff, and me and Cedric Golden Kirk Bowles, and I was representing A&M. And by the way, there was a lot of Texas guys there, and they all treated me great. And I said, look, this is a 10-win roster. The only reason, there's two reasons that you think they may not get 10 wins. And number one is you may have a 10-win roster, but the schedule is tougher than it was last year, and not necessarily because the games you played at home last year you play on the way. It's because Florida's supposed to be better, Auburn's supposed to be better, LSU's supposed to be better, but this is a 10-win roster. The other thing that makes you say, well, maybe they won't get there is because their own history and tendency to lose a game or a couple
that
you shouldn't lose.
Yep.
But if they, with a new coach, with a different coach that looks like he's, I believe, changing that culture, it could happen. And this is a 10-win roster. And one of the big reasons for that is Le'Veon Moss.
Let's talk to Randy Bullock on the other side.
All right.
It's a kick fest here on TexAgs Live. We'll talk to Randy. I believe I was with ABC 13 when he was drafted by the Texans. I believe I was there. I know I covered him with the Texans and obviously followed him at A&M, so looking forward to chatting with him on the other side. All right, when insurance matters most, who's going to answer your call? That's the Rollo Insurance Group. So yesterday I got to eat lunch with Morgan. We talked about God, family, and country when it comes to Rollo Insurance and all the great products. We talked about other stuff as well, made fun of OB. It was great conversation. But whether it's home, auto, business, or ranch, start a relationship with experts that are going to put you first. Their agents become familiar with your specific situation, and they're going to provide a customized protection that mass market insurers simply cannot match. And they'll know your situation. They'll know your kids' names. They'll know what age they are. They'll know the whole shebang. That's what Rollo Insurance really specializes is, knowing their customers and giving them the best protection out there. You can visit them at rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. Remember, they are in College Station on Highway 6, but they're all over the place in Texas. rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. The phone number, 888-44-ROLLO. That's 888-44-ROLLO. All right, we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. We're going to go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline to talk to Randy Bullock. Won the Lou Groza Award back in 2011. Had a great career in the NFL. Obviously, had a great career at Texas A&M, and we welcome him to the show. Randy, good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Great, man. So, what are you doing these days?
So I recently retired from the NFL. I started actually a job here in July here in the Houston area. I'm doing oil field sales, oil country tubular goods with P2 Energy Services, and it's been a blast. Still getting calls for whatever reason from the NFL, but I'm done. I'm enjoying being dad and being in one place, and it ran its course. It was a good run, but it's time for me to focus on life outside of football.
Do you consider it though? Like, was there a moment like, you know what, maybe one more year, or no? You're pretty settled.
You know, it's I'm at a point in time in my career where it's you're kind of the emergency guy. So it's like you fill in, you come in when somebody gets hurt, or there's a disaster, you put out a fire or something like that, and you kind of fly by the seat of your pants. And that's not really the life I'm looking for right now. So it's more. I got a 3.5-year-old little girl. When she can ask, "Hey, Dad, when you coming home?" You're not leaving.
I get that.
What a great place to be.
Yeah.
When you're at a place in your life and your career where you turn down the NFL. No thanks.
Obi, if the NFL called you right now to be a deep snapper, you're all in.
Look, and I can't even deep snap, but and plus I don't have the tenure that Randy Bullock had. Can you imagine what he can the price he can demand? But he says no, I'm going to stay with my 3-year-old daughter.
Hey, that's fantastic, Randy. I was telling the story. I covered you with the Texans when you were there for a while. Always enjoyed talking to you. What a cool story, right? To play at A&M and get drafted by the Texans and be there for such a long time, and also have a long, excellent NFL career. Just take me through like some of those emotions of not only playing at A&M, but then continuing your career 90 miles down south.
Yeah, I kind of go through this conversation more often now than I probably did when I played, because it all kind of went so fast, but completely awesome. I remember draft day, College Station, had my teammates, family, everybody out at the Traditions Club. We were waiting for a phone call, hoping for a phone call. With that position, you're not sure if you're actually getting one, maybe go undrafted. I heard from Houston early in the draft, and then it was kind of crickets for a while. Minnesota called me and said, "Hey, we're taking you in the 6th round," and still hadn't heard from Houston. Phone rang, and next thing you know, I'm back home. So it was really cool. Awesome experience. Growing pains early in my career. First time I really ever experienced any sort of failures was obviously when I was released in Houston. But I think that actually helped me play longer. If you can't handle the highs and lows, and I remember talking with Coach Kubiak at the time, like, there's 2 ways this is going to go. It's going to go north or it's going to go south. And as a young player, regardless of what position you are, it's just how you handle adversity.
Yeah. Speaking of adversity, so Randy, I'm going to tell you a quick story. It's I'm in Vegas. I've got a 3-team parlay, and I got two in the book, and I may be fuzzy on the details here, but I think I have like A&M with a 10-point, maybe A&M by 10 or something like that. So I took Northwestern and the points. And, it's an 8-point game. And I think I've got it wrapped up. And A&M starts moving the ball. And then I'm thinking, hey, take a knee. The game's over. Nope. As soon as you started walking out there, I thought, okay, I've lost this. Of course, he makes the field goal. That year, were you just in a zone? Did you feel like that every time you were going to go out? Because I think you only missed 4 all year, and you were on that one. You were right down the middle. Let me tell you. So you made a lot of money that year. I lost some, but were you in just some kicking zone? And how do you get there?
I think it's just one of those things. It's confidence. It's preparation. It's your off season. It's kind of everything. And it was a blast. Everything just kind of fell into place for me. Not for any reason other than hard work, but it was great. It was a lot of fun. It gave me an opportunity to make a living doing what I love, and it was just overall a blast. And you kind of take it for granted because you get an opportunity to finally go back and kind of talk through some of this stuff. And it's like, wow, that was 12 years ago, but it was a blink of an eye.
Do you coach kicking at all?
I'll help some guys here in the local area. As I got older, wasn't as easy to get on the high school fields to use for training purposes and stuff like that. So it'd be like, hey, I'll work with your guys if you let me. I worked with the John Cooper School here in the Woodlands for a long time. They gave me access to the fields, and I tried to help them. So kind of trying to find ways, but once you got to probably about your early 30s, they weren't just looking to open the door for you to be on campus.
Randy, what are your memories of the Nebraska game, the field goal game? 3 field goals, 9-6 victory. What are your memories of that game?
To me, that was probably the best college football atmosphere we had. It's for the longest time, that was when everything just started rolling for us. We beat OU, we beat TU, we beat Nebraska. That was 2010, and it was just an awesome experience for all of us. That was the first time I think everybody had actually rushed the field, Kyle Field. You see that kind of on all the highlight videos, and it was just an unbelievable experience.
If you're watching another kicker struggle, can you, as a kicker, be able to, just watch someone say, okay, this is what's going wrong. This is what you're doing?
I can. I typically don't. If there's a guy that's struggling or something like that, a lot of times we'll reach out. It's a pretty small network, especially at that level. But, everybody kind of knows everybody, and everybody kind of does things the way that they do them. It's you might see it your way, but it's kind of like a golf swing. So there's not one way to do it. You just kind of got to perfect your craft in way that you do it.
Randy, I want to go back to something you said about having adversity in your career. I remember those early years in the NFL. You and Matt Shaw, by the way, you guys heard some mean things. How hard was it to block out the noise and then obviously follow through with the rest of your career being so successful?
It's hard. I think it's honestly probably harder on your family than it is on you because you don't want your performance or anything that you've done to have any sort of effect on anybody else. It's if you have an issue with me, send me a hate message on Twitter or whatever, but don't call my mom's house. I'm a grown man. I don't live there. So there's some weirdos out there, but it is what it is, and it comes with the territory, and you just try to keep your head up and do whatever you need to do.
Hey, Ken, let me close with this. What do you think about the Ags this year? Do you pay attention to Aggie football, especially now that you're retired? Can you spend a lot more time watching the Ags and Coach Elko?
You know what? I'm really excited about it, and my first game actually back was the big one, the rivalry game this past year. Unfortunately, the outcome wasn't what we wanted, but I'm really excited about the roster, the coaching staff. The city itself has changed so much. I'm looking forward to getting back there more often and experiencing some game days after being there for that one this past year, and wish all those guys the best. Healthy. That's the biggest thing. If we can keep everybody healthy, everything else will take care of itself.
Randy, man, we appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on the show, and hope to see you soon, all right?
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Randy Bullock.
They might have won the national championship had he been around for one more year.
Yeah.
Remember that LSU game?
Oh, yeah.
Missed extra point, missed chip shot field goal. If you had a reliable kicker that year, I think their kicker that year missed something like half a dozen extra points.
Was it that many?
Yeah, it might have been 7.
Goodness. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with bank on it. I've already banked on something. I'll have to think of something else. We'll do that on the other side. Whether you're chasing birds at sunrise or casting lines at the bow, sweating it out during a scorcher at Kyle Field, Duck Camp's got you covered from head to toe. I've been wearing Duck Camp all week, by the way. I had a huge order. OB, I know that Duck Camp's going to be sending you some pants soon. Really? Yeah. They'll reach out to you.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, because, when we're at the Holistic Plane and Cool Zone and you like to wear your Speedos, we make you wear pants.
Yeah, it's true. They won't let me wear Speedos.
Well, I mean,
Irma won't even let me wear Speedos.
Well, there was an incident once. But regardless, Duck Camp's the way to go when you're looking for any kind of gear, right? You want to go hunting, fishing, fitness, go to the gym, go to church, whatever it may be. Duck Camp's got all the gear. The lightweight performance hoodie, the scout shorts, the essential hoodie, the lightweight fishing shirt, you name it. Check it out at duckcamp.com. That is duckcamp.com.
Let's talk a little Snaps clothing. David Nuño here, and I love wearing Snaps clothing everywhere. I've got the flannel on right now. You've seen me in the Tailgater collection with the A&M gear. It is fantastic. If you see me around town with my sons, Christian and Cruz, they've got a bunch of Snaps gear. When they have big games for Consol, they wear nice clothes, so they wear their Snap stuff. And I'm telling you, with baseball season here, let's all kind of go looking stylish and fit to the games there at Olson wearing the Snaps clothing. As a reminder, they are the only official licensed Texas A&M Pearl Snaps maker out there. Their Tailgater collection is built for game day with breathable, moisture-wicking fabrics to keep you comfortable while you rep your Aggies in style. Now, whether you're watching the game from home or maybe you're in attendance, you're tailgating, whatever it may be, you got to make sure you head to snapsclothing.com to see everything they have to offer. It is fashionable, it is awesome, and you're going to love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bank on it, presented by Vera Bank. All right, I'm banking on our reaction to a song, okay?
Okay.
I'm banking on mixed emotions, and then we're going to get into it. That's what I'm banking on. I have not heard We Are the Aggies completely, but a friend of yours, a dear colleague of yours, sent
an
you.
acquaintance.
Okay.
Dale Butler.
Dale, what's up? Dale.
Now, I don't know how he came up with this song.
Okay.
He used to perform. I don't know. Anyway, he sent us a song.
Send us a song. So we're going to have the camera on us, and we're going to listen to it.
Okay.
And, oh, here we go.
Here we go. All right. Okay.
So far, sounds like a song.
Queen Reveille on Miss Rev leads the way. Maroon and white waving proud every game. They were just friendly. Howdy is how we meet, standing strong through 4 quarters, never off our feet.
Never off our feet.
Is
that Dale voice?
I don't know.
More than gold, only Aggies understand the care. Yeah, leaders and white folks might laugh.
Wait.
White folks?
Yeah, leaders in white. I think you mean the yeah leaders are in white, comma, folks.
Can you rewind that part again?
Can you rewind it? Does it allow you to rewind? No?
That Longhorn band, well, it sounds like hell. While the fighting Texas Aggie band rings the victory bell. We're rocking Kyle Field.
Now, I'm going to say this. It's not like I would not want to listen to it at the gym. Okay?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind listening to it. You know, like the Texans have that dude. What's his name? Football time in Houston. He's a famous country guy. You know that guy. Come on. Somebody tell me. The football time in Houston guy.
I don't know.
Somebody Google it. Football time in Houston. That's our version of football time in Houston.
I was, jamming, and my wife sent me she's obviously watching. She says, "Don't do that. You're making a stupid face." and that's the person that loves me the most.
Huh?
Clay Walker.
Clay Walker. He's the Clay Walker of Texas A&M.
Clay Walker hit on my wife once. It's a true story.
The way our show goes and bam.
And I don't know if she said anything to him about a stupid face. I actually threw T-shirts to the crowd at a Clay Walker concert at the Silver Silver Skate or something like that in Brenham. It's a skating rink in Brenham. He was just starting.
Okay.
I had a friend at another radio station. He was a DJ, and he asked me, "You want to come along?" So Clay Walker sang, and I threw out T-shirts.
Well, Dell, I think you are the Clay Walker of A&M.
Silver Wings? Yeah, he's the Clay Walker of A&M.
Congratulations.
But don't hit on my wife.
Do not hit on his wife. Please don't do that, because OB will make a face. Anyway.
Stupid face.
By the way, I saw your Elaine dancing earlier. That was good.
My what?
Your Elaine from Seinfeld dancing.
We were talking about, I don't know if you've ever saw the movie Boogie Nights, and some people would, because it's, the subject matter is controversial, but there's a scene where John C. Reilly is trying to dance to an awful song. And so I was trying to do the John Reilly.
The John C. Reilly. 3 things we want to see, brought to you by the Brazos Running Company. I want to see more of that song.
My stupid face.
I'm going to email Trev, play it at halftime. What?
Maybe that should be the next
walk-up song?
The song, instead of Power, play that We Are the White Folks. No, I'm white. The gut boys and white folks.
Did he say?
No, it's a comma. It's a comma.
Are we sure?
Yeah, because he's talking about the yellow leaders.
I don't want to be complicit in this.
And white folks see what's going on. Like, it's not white folks.
I also want to see a football game on Saturday.
Hey, you know what? I want to see the Iowa State Cyclones beat the Kansas State Wildcats tomorrow, because I have a good friend. In fact, Doug Beck was at his son's 22nd birthday celebration yesterday, and he moved here from Ames. Big Iowa State fan, so I'll root for my friends. Sorry, Colin Klein. Sorry, Will Lee. I'm going to go against the Wildcats.
I just hope everybody has fun.
Okay. I just hope girls, because they just want to have fun. They just want.
It's always off the rails on a Friday. They just want
to have fun.
Thank you so much. We'll come back with Buddy Johnson on TexAgs Live.
Buddy.
I
love that guy.
When I call him Buddy, I feel like I'm saying like my friend. But All right, we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, hour number 2 of the program. Appreciate everybody listening in. Houston Aggies join us for a special screening of Breaking Tradition, featuring fellow Houstonian Aggie Hugh McElroy, class of 71, at the Star Cinema Grill in City Center on August 27th at 6 p.m. Set during the Civil Rights era, the powerful documentary follows McElroy's courageous journey through a transformative period at Texas A&M in the 60s. Tickets are $25, available now in the Football Forum, presented by the Houston A&M Club in partnership with Texas Filmworks and TexAgs, in support with Rifle CRE and the Goodwin Group at Merrill. Don't miss the unforgettable evening celebrating Aggie history and courage. All right, we're going to hear from Buddy Johnson here in a moment. I interviewed him yesterday afternoon, and I didn't get to cover Buddy. Obviously, I watched him. But that interview quickly became one of my favorites. The guy was so personable, such a cool conversation. We talk about Coach Elko. We talk about his time with the Cowboys. We talk about just so many different journeys, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Here's Buddy Johnson on TexAgs Live.
All right, let's go to the Buppy's Catering hotline right now. Buppy's Catering and Bartending hotline. Buddy Johnson, Dallas Cowboy, A&M great, joining us here on the program to talk about all things A&M and, of course, his time with the Cowboys. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm great. So what's it like playing for the Cowboys, growing up a Cowboys fan, I assume, and playing for your team?
For me, like, it's a blessing. I always try to thank God, for, just giving me the opportunity to play in the NFL, to do what I love, and do it. I try to do it at a high level. But like you say, man, just to play for the Cowboys, it's a huge blessing, man. Not only that it's the Cowboys, but it's my hometown team. It's just a blessing for me, and I don't take any of it for granted. So I show up every day trying to look for a way to get better and show how I can contribute to this team.
Do you remember the first time you met Jerry Jones and what that was like?
I do. So when I first signed, I remember meeting him. Like, it was pretty brief, because when I first signed, I signed with practice squad, but he kind of introduced myself. We was talking for a little bit, and he's a good dude, man. He's a really good guy, and I was just trying to introduce to myself so my name can stick with my face. And ever since then, every time we see each other, man, he always have a smile on each other's face. So that's super dope.
What about the legends, right? I've never been to a Cowboys practice, but I got to assume every once in a while Michael Irvin comes by, maybe Emmett comes by, maybe Troy comes by. Have you seen some of those legends?
For sure. Michael Irvin's always around. Our new head coach, Coach Shotty, that's one of his biggest things he tried to, build on as a family. So he tried to get the the legends to come back in and show love, and they do, and they come back. Like, we had a couple open practices yesterday and the day before yesterday, so they were out there showing love. And, anytime they hear, this pretty much was their home. This still their home. So we always, show love to them and, make them feel welcomed and make them feel loved. And they show love to us, same vice versa. So, man, it's a blessing, and it's super dope.
Do you mind if I highlight a couple of things? I'm looking at your room. I see the Johnson game room. I see the Cowboys, Aggies. I see the Rangers. What do you got back there?
It's all up there, man. I'm a Texas kid from Oak Cliff, from Dallas. So, heart of Dallas. That's all the wall right there. Got the helmets up there, man. Got there's a picture back there, captain picture last year, I think. So, like I say, man, I got a couple trophies around here. I try to put them up and just go from there.
But let's go back to coming to A&M. How did you decide on A&M being the place for you?
So it was actually so funny how I decided, because I go to A&M to take a visit. This was when Coach Sumlin was the head coach at the time, and I'm like, okay, one of my trainers, he take me down and he like, all right, let's see what Texas A&M got to offer. This was my first visit, first official visit. I'm down, I'm having a good time. It's great people. I'm like, man, these people are so nice. And it's just everything is just mind blowing. Cause I think I'm still in high school at the time. So, man, we on our way back home from the official visit. Man, I didn't already put my commitment video. I didn't already posted my commitment tweet and everything, and I ain't tell nobody, man. I was just so excited, and man, ever since then, like I say, man, I just fell in love. I never took any more official visits. I think I may have took one other official visit, but man, once I came to A&M, I kind of fell in love, and I knew that was home for me, and that's where I wanted to play ball at. So I'm glad I did, man.
I want to get to Coach Elko in a minute, but the Jimbo era then happens for you as well. Talk about playing for Jimbo in those years as you were building up to the 2020 season.
So like I say, when Coach Sumlin kind of got fired, it was kind of scary for me because I was a freshman. I'm like, dang, okay, this as a high school player, you used to see like headlines of like teams getting new coaches, and I'm like, okay, now I got a new head coach. Like it's a whole new staff I got to impress. So I'm like, okay, start from zero, like starting back at the ground. So I'm like, okay. So Coach Jimbo come in, and Coach Jimbo come in like he's on us heavy, like, okay, like playtime over, this the big league. Like he come in and he's like, I remember the first meeting we was joking because we used to always say this little joke when is a dude named Dan Childs. He was our with education. Like he pretty much was our education advisor, and he used to go up there and we used to all be like, Big Dan, Big Stan, like, and I remember yelling, Big Dan, Big Stan, and Jimbo was like, hey, we ain't having none of that. He snatched his glasses off, and I was like, oh man, he's serious, he not playing. So man, ever since then, I feel super blessed that Coach Fisher was brought in. Just for me personally, I feel like I developed into a better man, a better player. At the end of the day, I feel like I'm a great father now. I try to be a great boyfriend, hopefully one day a great husband. So, I just take all those little things and think about how Coach Elko was my defense coordinator at the time, and Coach Fisher was my head coach, and those guys, and Coach Santucci, which was my linebacker coach, and Coach Pivotal, those guys were huge, playing a big part of me being away from home. And like I say, just blessed that I'm an Aggie, and I chose to go to A&M, and that happened.
Buddy, in high school, you played multiple positions. How did you end up tell me about the transition to linebacker?
So I was a starting quarterback, for my high school. I don't remember how much yards I had. We don't have to get into that right now. No, but I was a starting quarterback. I don't even remember how many snaps I had on defense. I may have had less than like 15 snaps on defense my whole high school career. I pretty much was just running the ball or throwing the ball. I would line up at receiver sometimes. That's why I try to tell a lot of guys now, man, like play as many positions as you can because, just playing all these different positions, it give you a different perspective of the game and it opened more opportunity for you. So I kind of was just one of the best players on my team at the time, and my coach just loved to, have me. I pretty much was a versatile player and just put me anywhere, plug and play. And man, like I say, I just whatever coach asks, whatever he needs from me, yes, coach. And that's just kind of how it went.
I think it was 2019, the touchdown, the 62-yard touchdown against Ole Miss. Take me through that play.
So if I can remember, I remember, let's see, all I remember is scooping it and just going, I remember Blades, our cornerback, came on the blitz, and I think he knocked the ball out. And all I remember seeing the ball on the ground, I was just standing there, I seen the ball on the ground, I just shot off like a rocket. I'm like, I got to get this ball. So I went to get the ball, I scoop it up, and I'm running. And I was like, man, I don't care who behind me, how close or how far, I just got to get to this end zone, man. So that was a cool play for me. I was a little gassed after that play because I remember sitting on the sideline like, man, we got to go right back out here and do it again. So that's one of the cool things about like when a defense scores. It's cool, but like you got to go right back out there and do it again. So it definitely be tough, but that's when that real dog come out and you show that real heart. So,
buddy, was there a moment leading into the 2020 season where you're like, I think we got something here this year? Because I'm hoping that might be the case this year in 25 for the Ags, where you've got a veteran team coming back, offensive line, defensive players that are hopefully taking a big step. Was there a point where you kind of knew, we got something?
I don't think the switch actually flipped for us until after we played Alabama. I remember playing Alabama, and I was like, I kid you not, like during the game, like I was crying, like real tears. Like I don't even know why. I was just like, man, like this is not how I want to leave a legacy. Like because I pretty much knew that was probably going to be my last year. I'm like, I've never beat Alabama. I'm like, this was like already in the fourth quarter. I'm like, man, like this is tough. I was like, okay. So after that game, I told myself like, I have to figure out, because I was a leader at the time, like me, Kellen, and a couple more guys. I'm like, okay, I have to figure out how to get this defense to pretty much buy into what Coach Elko wanted us to do. And that was pretty much one of my main focal points on the year, to pretty much get guys to buy in, stay locked in, stay focused. Like, because, college is about maturing as a player, maturing as, as a son, as a father, all of those things. But, you know, a lot of guys are immature, and you have to get guys to pretty much buy in because you coming from a whole different ball game in high school. It's like we just out there for real. But in college, it's like it's a mini NFL really, especially when Coach Elko came in and his playbook was like all these plays and it's like all these communications, all these different adjustments, and I'm like, okay, this is what it's really like. So, you know, at that point, I'm like, I got to really be a leader. And I remember Coach Elko coming up to me like when Tyrell Dotson and Atara Alaka, they left, and he was like, we need somebody to step up and be the leader of this defense. And I feel like you're super capable of that, but only you can do that, and nobody else can pretty much, you know, do that for you. So I feel like he challenged me, and that's why I'm so happy that he was my defensive coordinator, because, you know, it's like I always think about Coach Elko, like he gonna challenge his players, but it's for the better, you know, and I feel like he gave me a challenge, and to this day, man, I'm like, okay, like I got to be a leader of the team somehow, some way, and show that, you know, I'm capable of it.
When I talk to players and parents, they said the same thing about Coach Elko. There's no fluff.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know where you stand with him. He's just going to be very factual and honest with you.
Mm-hmm. He's a great dude, man. He's gonna keep it honest with you, but he's gonna challenge you. Like I say, he's gonna challenge you to for the better, because he wants to see you get better, and he know you can get better. But if you just listen to him and, you know, follow his game plan and trust in him, and, you know, you build that. The way you do it is you build the trust with him, because you, at the end of the day, you want your coach to believe in you, but the only way he'll believe in you if you continuously, you know, put it on film, like every day, show up, you know, getting better. And the key word is consistency, man. Like, you know, regardless of what it is, if it's school, if it's, you know, showing up, being a leader, if it's on the practice field, if it's in the recovery room, in the weight room, wherever it is, like just being a leader around campus, like it's just consistency every day, showing up, getting better, and, you know, letting guys know that, you know, this is how it's done. And if you follow me, man, we'll all go somewhere together.
Buddy, life in the NFL, you guys are so busy. You're practicing, you're traveling. Do you get a chance to watch the Aggies?
I do. Every chance I get to watch the Aggies. Normally it's when we traveling, going out of town on Saturdays, or, you know, we're pretty much getting home for our off day before the game. And, you know, I got the Aggies playing. I got 4 big TVs in the living room, like one of those bars. You know how they got the big screens?
Yeah.
I got them all on one screen, and I'm like, okay, man, it's all Aggies on here, man, for 3 hours or however long it's going to be. So, man, I make sure I'm watching the Aggies, and if I can get down to College Station, I try to get down there and show love, because it's always a great time, man. It's nothing like Aggieland. It's amazing.
Let me close out with this question. I don't know how much you can pay attention to the linebackers, but Torian has grown into such a stud. Scooby Williams as well. They've got a bunch of young players that are growing. Just talk about that linebacker group, and if you've been able to pay attention to them.
Yeah, for sure. So I watched a little bit of York last year and a little bit of Scooby last year. I watched them play, and I think they fly around. I think York is a great leader. You know, just watching him, I can tell that he's a great leader, and I can tell Coach Elko got to him. Like, when Elko get to you, you feel like the best leader in the world. You feel like you got to lead these guys to, you know, a big battle. And I can see it just the way he carried himself, the swagger he played with. You know, that's what it all come down to, the Dion mentality, man. Look good, feel good, play good. So, you know, I just watch those guys, and those guys fly around. But, you know, in order to be a linebacker in Coach Elko defense, you have to be a dog, but you have to be a leader, because there's so many communications that you have to make. And if you don't make them, the defense will not, you know, execute the way it's supposed to. So, like I said, I've been watching those guys. They pretty much executing to me at a high level, and I know, you know, Elko gonna have those guys playing way harder and way better this year. But I feel like those guys been in the defense, you know, so now they're really gonna, you know, get over that hump, because it's like Coach Elko defense is so many details that you have to lock into to play, you know, efficient. And, you know, I feel like those guys, you know, they can take the next step, because, you know, they pretty much vets in college now. So now they can take the next step and really turn that thing up.
I lied to you. I do want to ask a follow-up. So take me through that year 2 with Elko, right? There was a growth for that defense. Mm-hmm. Was it because you understood everything that was asked of you, and the whole group had just a better collective understanding?
For sure. I think it was like, you know, a new coach come in, he have to win his players over. You know, just because you have to gain that trust, that goes back to that trust I was just talking about. He have to win his players over, and it wasn't nothing Coach Elko did out of the ordinary. It was just Coach Elko is a great guy, and guys start to come around and see like the way he coached us. He coached us tough, but he coached us with tough love. So it was like, man, this guy actually cares about us. He want to see us be great. He want to help us get better. So, why not buy into what he's talking about and, just do whatever he says. And, guys started to buy in, and you see us hold guys to, hold teams to less than 100 yards. Like, one thing we didn't play about was our rush defense. Like, you're not running the ball on us. Like, it don't matter what the stat sheet say, like what top 5 running back, what running back you are, like we get downhill and we stopping the run. So that was one thing we prided ourselves on, and I know that's what they pride themselves on now, stopping the run.
Buddy, this has been fun, man. Thanks so much for making a few minutes. Best of luck this season, and when you're in Aggieland, we'll connect, all right?
Already, I appreciate you, man. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
Gig 'em.
All right, I really like that interview, as you can tell. Buddy Johnson, we're going to be getting him on the show hopefully a little more often, but maybe after his NFL season. Before we hit a break, I'm going to give a tease of the next segment. Just a tease. All right, actually, Reese Niagara's going to give us a tease. You read to me a headline. Read me the headline.
The top 10 most overrated college football programs of the past decade.
And then I said to you something about A&M's on there, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't disagree with. But the fact, I almost feel like I'm doing the segment now. I don't need to. It's supposed to be a tease. A&M's on there. And I'm okay with A&M being on there until you hear the list where A&M is placed. And let me tell you, I've got a bone to pick with. Who wrote this?
David Cobb.
David Cobb. Clickbait Cobb. Actually, I don't know. He might be a great young man. I have no idea who he is.
He's a rage baiter.
He's a rage. He's got a temper?
No, like rage bait. Like
rage bait or clickbait?
Rage bait and clickbait.
Wait. To me, rage bait means you want to fight a lot. Like some people would say I'm a rage baiter.
Well, I mean, this article is rage bait.
I'm a master at that.
This article is rage bait.
I just did the OB look to the camera. Did you catch that? Anyway. A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 and online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. They are masters of selling vehicles and taking great care of their customers. They are the best when it comes to customer service, the best when it comes to pricing and trade-in value. You're going to love your experience at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They've got the service body trucks there. They've got the heavy-duty flatbeds. They got the medium-duty trucks. They can handle all those tough jobs. They've got it all for you, and when you go there, you're going to have an amazing experience. They've got the muscle for your business demands. They are a newly designated business elite dealer. They understand what it takes to keep your company moving forward, and they believe in supporting local businesses as well, and they also support Aggie athletics. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. And we're back, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. We're going to go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. So let's reset the topic. David Cobb, CBS Sports.
David Cobb of CBS Sports posted an article of the top 10 most overrated college football programs of the past decade.
Okay. So initially, I took offense to it, and I know you guys are used to me taking offense to things. But I've had a little reflection.
Okay.
If you think overrated because who has come into seasons with more hype and not lived up to that hype more often than not, I can see your point for A&M. 2020 happened.
Yeah.
2020 happened. I know people like that. They still count Nebraska's championship that year. You know that, right? Yeah. They didn't. They count LeBron's, even though I try not to. They count. They still count in the record books.
Yeah.
So I will agree to a point that A&M has been has been ranked higher than Nebraska consistently.
Yeah.
But I would say Nebraska has done less as a traditional power.
I would agree.
Okay, so let's go over this. So in the last 10 years, basically, right? There's no basically, last 10 years, A&M has had the 2020 season that I think you can pound your chest and say, okay, how many losing seasons in that stretch? One. They went 5-7 in 23. Okay. How many losing seasons has Nebraska had in that same stretch?
8. Nebraska had 8 losing seasons.
Let me see if I'm hearing this correctly. Nebraska has had 8 losing seasons out of 10.
Yep.
And they're on the list.
Yep.
If they're on the list, that means that they have been overrated, right?
Yeah.
How can A&M be? This is just Okay, try to do a quick search, if you don't mind, on your computer of how many times Nebraska has come into a preseason top 25, if you can find that information. I'd be curious. I would assume A&M more often than not has come into a preseason top 25. And I know sometimes very highly ranked, and it hasn't come to fruition. I recognize that. But Nebraska is not the only team on the list.
No.
Who else?
So Auburn is on the list. Florida State is on the list. Florida
State, who just went 2-10.
Yeah.
Who had one fantastic season in the last decade. Well, I guess Jimbo was there for part of the 10 years, right? So, but even his last couple of years there, I think he went 7-6 his last year there, possibly.
Wasn't anything stellar.
Maybe it was worse than 7-6. But my point stands. Florida State has had in that time maybe one good year.
Yeah, they've had 5 losing seasons. So half of the decade they finished with a losing record.
If you want to say the most mediocre team that should be better in that stretch has been A&M. A&M has had one bad year by losing standards.
Yeah.
They've had not the standard for sure. What we want the standard to be. Let me phrase it like that. Unfortunately, the standard has been what the memes say. But Nebraska, that can't be right. Kate, you've got some information for us.
So this is since 2015, correct?
It doesn't matter. Just
okay.
talk.
So since 2015, they've only been ranked in the preseason one time. In 2019, there were 24 preseason ranking, but they've been receiving votes. They received votes in 15, 16, 17.
Well, that defeats my argument, right?
Yeah.
So, but the argument is,
but the years
but it's not
before
preseason rankings. It's who has been the most overhyped, overrated team.
Yeah, like how the rest of the college football world views a program and where they've.
And I would say that Nebraska has been more underwhelmed if they're on the list.
Yes.
I think A&M, if you want to say, well, you play in the SEC, well, yeah, that's part of the reason. You put that A&M team the last 10 years in the Big Ten, I don't think we're saying the same thing, but whatever.
They have between 2009 and 2014, they were ranked in the preseason all of those years. So 2009 to 14, they were 24 preseason in 2009, 8 preseason in 2010.
A lot of you weren't even born.
2011, 17 in 2012, 18 in 2013, 22 in 2014.
You're not 15, I know.
Yeah, I was born now, not like college football super fan at the age of 5, but.
Well, I would say I'm not gonna completely argue with David Cobb after talking it out. I wanted this to be a therapy session. I wouldn't say A&M is a splashy one because of the 22 class, because of the top 10 expectations on several of those seasons. Yeah. With the money that they have spent on Jimbo, getting Jimbo, and then firing Jimbo, right? Yeah. But again, 2020 did happen. So there has been success. There has been an exorbitant number of quarterback injuries that have derailed the season. And by the way, people forget, Scott Frost was the hot name in coaching.
National champion, Scott Frost.
UCF, national champions. Okay? He was the hot name. That had A&M gone and hired him, people would have thought that was a great hire at the time. They ended up stealing Jimbo, which I thought was the right move.
Yeah.
I say this every time. I always have this qualifier. I like Jimbo. I do. I think it could have worked. It didn't. Sorry. I don't need to apologize for him, but I think it should have worked.
Yeah.
I like Jimbo a lot. It just didn't work at the end. Football changed, college football changed, and I don't think he evolved with it. And maybe a couple years away from it, he will evolve. I think it's too early to say. Best season during that stretch, Jimbo went 9-4, and Riley for them went 9-4 one year. So that was their best season in that stretch. So
USC, Southern Cal, number 6.
Okay.
They've had 2 losing seasons.
That's more than A&M.
They put a lot of stock in the 2022 year. I don't know why.
What did they do that year? They went
11.
That was Caleb Williams' second year?
I think it might have been his first year. They went 11-1.
Second year in college football, first year at USC.
And then they got absolutely boat raced by Utah in the Pac-12. Number 7, North Carolina.
I don't really think of them as anything.
Number 8, Miami.
Oh, okay. I'd be curious what they've done in that stretch.
They've had 2 losing seasons and have a record of 77-49.
What is A&M's record in that stretch?
I believe 77-49 as
in the SEC.
Frankly, given the ACC schedule, and the preseason hype that Miami gets all the time, I feel like they should be just a little bit higher and Miami on that list. I mean, very similar in terms of what they've done, but I think just generally speaking, the ACC is not as deep as the SEC. Just generally speaking.
Generally speaking, factually speaking, they've. I mean, don't get me wrong. The last 10 years, they've had some elite teams. Obviously, Clemson comes to mind, and they've had other teams that were very good in the conference, but not like the SEC. It's just and now what the SEC I think has become is maybe the top of the SEC isn't as dominant as it was, but the middle and almost like the next tier below if you were to break it up into 4 quadrants, right? The top is very good, but the drop off from first to second isn't as dramatic as I think it used to be. And from second to third is not as dramatic as it used to be.
It's definitely more of a dogfight now, for sure.
To round out
We've done boat race and dogfighting all in the same segment.
To round out the list, number 9 was Texas University, and number 10, the University of Tennessee.
I don't know if I agree with those. I feel like you got to look at what Tennessee and Texas have done the last couple of years.
Yeah. I think he mentions that's why they're lower on the list is because the last 2 to 3 years have kind of elevated those 2 programs. But
what did he say about his why A&M's number 1?
He basically said that A&M has tried to spend their way to the top and has fallen flat on their face.
So A&M has tried to spend their way to the top. Like every program that has money has tried to do.
Texas A&M spent as big as anyone to try and bring about.
Does he know that factually? Has he actually gotten records to say this is how much they spent? No. Does he know sliced bread?
He probably does not. He starts it off. Texas A&M spent as big as anyone to try and bring about a successful decade, only to be met with mediocrity at every turn.
I wouldn't deny. Yes,
no,
mediocrity is true.
He then brings up the remodeling of Kyle Field, as well as us spending all that money on Jimbo Fisher, as well as 4 consecutive top 10 recruiting classes.
We're gonna hit a break, but I do want to read this. Dave and Edmund, actually, buddy, I think he's had 2 quality days in the chat. I think I think the therapy session that he went to through Billy on Friday, I think, or Monday, whenever it was. If a team finishes unranked after preseason rankings, it doesn't say anything about the team. It says the people doing the rankings just suck at their job.
What a take.
Except, I feel like he's talking about me because I've ranked.
He might be.
Yeah. Dave, on second thought, you're fired. When we come back, Ava Underwood will not be fired. She'll be great. Milliken Reserve Farm to Table community in College Station. They've got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces, and they have a mission to build a healthy community around nature. They're committed to trading lightly on the land that you can find Milliken Reserve on. They've got dedication to conservation and a healthy community. 2,600 acres of open space. They've got awesome farms, trails. It's a wonderful place just to connect with your family. If you like walking, we all should be walking, guys. Get our steps in. If you like hiking, biking, canoeing, if you just like being outdoors, throwing the ball with your kid, that is the place to go do it. You would like to climb trees? Go there to Milliken Reserve. They have all the animals you can imagine when you go there. You'll see the white-tailed deer. You'll see the songbirds. You'll see the rabbits, the turtles. I'm sure you'll see more. And homeowners at Milliken Reserve sharing a legacy of conservation, which means generation after generation coming back to that pristine countryside place. You want to learn more? You can do that at millikenreserve.com. That website, again, is millikenreserve.com. All right, we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Ava Underwood is in the house. Talk a little volleyball, talk a little life. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. So I was telling you before the segment, I was preparing for this interview, and I just started Googling stuff and found an interview with you and Alex Parra, who's a friend of mine, Houston broadcaster. And I learned that you were a soccer player growing up.
Yes, big time soccer player. Came to A&M soccer camp all growing up. It was my dream to play soccer at A&M. So funny enough that I'm here playing volleyball.
Yeah.
But Alex Parra was such a big influence in my life. Great coach. We still stay in touch. Talked to him around our trip to the Sweet 16 last year.
Yeah.
So it's really great. But yeah, soccer was my first love, but volleyball is what got me here.
Well, I don't mean to bury the lead here because we're going to get into a lot of volleyball, but I'm going to do the reason I brought this up to start off is that my daughter Isla has been playing soccer since she was a little girl. She's ECNL. She's great.
Oh, so good.
And she decided to try out for volleyball this year. Has never played.
Look at that.
And she made the team. And now I'm conflicted. Now I'm like all the money we spent on soccer, and she's like, Dad, I made the team. And I was like, Jamie's going to be so proud.
Hey, all I got to say, it's inside.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with weather delays.
But how are the parents?
It's fun. They're into it.
Yeah.
They're into it.
I don't know if you've heard, I've got a little reputation of fighting parents. But anyway.
It's okay. It's okay.
Let's talk about you. So how'd you end up at A&M?
So my dad was an Aggie, or is an Aggie. You're always
an Aggie, yep.
Class of 96, and so I grew up always wanting to come here. It was a lifelong dream of mine. I mean, there was no unbrainwashing me. It was just instilled in me.
Yeah.
But then the time came around of being recruited for volleyball, and I didn't think I realized how much opportunity I would have had. So it was a really tough thing to figure out, what I wanted to do. And I always came back to A&M, no matter where I went and where I traveled to be recruited. I was like, I just always compared it to here. And at the end of the day, I just came up and, I decided I wanted to choose the place because of the school, not necessarily just because of my sport. And as a sophomore in high school, I think that's a really mature decision because I couldn't be happier where I'm at.
And tell the audience your jersey number.
Number 12.
And you've worn that number how long?
Since freshman year, I've had it. So it's really cool because at the time, it just had opened up. And so I talked to my parents. I was like, I have to take it. And they're like, duh, Ava, what are you doing? Yeah. So I wear it with a lot of weight. I think after this year, we're going to implement something of you pass it down or we vote on it or something of that sort. But I feel like I've done a really good job representing the number, and it's very, very special. I actually recently just got a little tattoo of 12 on my wrist because it just reminds me it's so much more than just a number. So.
Yeah. Well, so you've basically been an Aggie your whole life. Even when you were being recruited, you knew.
Oh, yeah.
So was there a moment during the transition from being a star in high school to the SEC, you're like, oh, this is a different level of great?
Yeah, for sure. My freshman year. I mean, I started my freshman year. I've played all 3 years so far, hoping to play this one. But yeah, I mean, once I stepped on the court with the big girls, it was like, this is a whole new game. I'm not only playing with the girls my age, but girls 3 and 4 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So it was a very big eye opener, and it was just, I felt like I adjusted, and now that I'm a senior, I know what to expect, and so I'm excited for this year to get going.
So how many seniors are on the roster with you?
A lot, 9.
Really?
Yes, we're a team full of grandmas this year, but we have a lot of experience, and then we have a lot. It's like we have an older roster, but then we also have a ton of young kids, and so it's going to be good. We're teaching them the ways.
Yeah, well, I've been talking to Jamie quite a bit. He comes on the show every week, and the fact that you have youth that can play at this level, young players that can play at this level, but the vets can lead the way and show them the way, I should say, right?
It's such a blessing. I mean, and I think we have a great dynamic with the girls. Everyone loves each other. We're all very different, but we all come together for a common goal of we want to win and we want to be super competitive and we want to take this program to heights that it's never really gone before. So we just have a really good dynamic. And it's not that we view them as freshmen. It's more like a mentor, which is great.
When did you know that, okay, this Jamie Morrison guy, this is a different level. This is,
yeah.
I mean, was it apparent right away?
Yeah, so I had kind of known Jamie before he was here. He had coached at the club that I played at. And so when I was recovering from shoulder surgery, he had me in the gym. We were working on passing, relearning how to pass because he was teaching me this whole new way. And I'm like, dude, this dude's crazy. You're talking about clocks? What are we doing? Mm-hmm. But once he got the job here, I was so stoked because I just know his experience. He's been in the volleyball world for forever. He's very high respected. He was something that was going to take our program to the next level. So, when that change happened, it was just very assuring for me. that this was where I was supposed to be.
One of the things that is obvious, you spent a few minutes with him, his love of the sport. Like he is selling the sport at all times.
He's a volley nerd.
Yeah.
The ultimate example of it. But he really does love it. And it's just really cool because he also loved the school too. And that's what I wanted to see in a coach here.
I was so impressed. We went to the volleyball camp that you have for the kids during the summer, and you all were practicing, right?
Yeah.
And just the intensity, even in that, like, it was just supposed to be fun. And
we get after it.
Yeah.
Winning is fun.
Yeah.
So we think if we're not winning, it's not very much fun. So we get after it in the gym. But it's all like in love and everything too. So
is that cool something that, like, you know, Jamie's just instilled that culture, or also maybe the type of athletes he recruits?
Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's very much, we talk about it. We talk about having some sass, but also being loving. So it's like, if you get up and you get a stuff block against somebody, it's like, you get after it, but then at the end of the day, you're teammates and you go and you give them a high five and say like, hey, I got your back. And I think that that's a really, really cool thing, because I think nowadays things have just gotten so competitive in sport, which is great. Don't get me wrong, ultimate competitor here. Mm-hmm. But when you're competing against your teammates, there has to be a level of love there too. So,
when did you know, okay, this team? Because I asked about Jamie, but about the team itself. Like, you know, Bird had an unfortunate last season here, and I love Bird. She was one of my favorites to deal with.
Yeah.
Jamie starts building the program, and then last year you guys get far, Sweet 16. You got the Wisconsin matchup. Just when did it click? Like, okay, we can go real far.
I think there's been a couple of moments, and like, of course, with Jamie being here, there's been a lot of growing pains of just like, he came on, took on a new team. Year 2 is supposedly always the hardest, and when we made it to the Sweet 16, it was like, we've got something special here. I think when we, of course, I'm going to say this is one of my favorite games I've played in, but I think it was the turning point is when we beat Texas at Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of like the pivotal moment for us of like, you know, this is it. Like, we can really make a wave. And so I think it's just been a progressive, like, you know, just climb to keep getting better and better. And this summer we put in a lot of really good work. We got a good transfer. We got our freshmen in. So I just think all the pieces are falling into place and quicker than I had ever hoped and expected. So
this team now, kind of one of the hunted, right? Like,
yes.
with the expectations.
Yeah.
How does that change? I don't want to say mindset, but just Jamie's really good as the hunter, right?
Yeah.
And now the team's got to be the hunted. And I still think it's the same kind of formula.
Yeah, we loved being the underdog last year. It was our favorite place to go in and wreck someone's world in their home place. Like, that was awesome. But it's a cool change, because now we are the hunted, like you said. And I think it does show in our practice environment how we value that and we understand that. Like you said, we get after it in the gym. Like, that is going to be something that, you know, prevails us in the season of being able to be the hunted.
Yeah.
Not be the hunted at the same time.
How much of a responsibility do the older players feel, the veteran players, I should say, that, all right, we have this ranking, we have these expectations, we've got to go do it. We got to live up to it.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. I think for us, it's like, there's a core of us that have been here through it all, and it's just like, it's our last year, and we just want to leave it all out there and push this place to, again, like I said earlier, of like a place where we haven't been. Because I think we're very capable of doing it. So I'm pumped.
What's next for you? Okay, the season is the most important thing, right?
Season first.
Right, that's the most important thing. But like, do you have some plans and goals after school?
Yeah, that's a great question. And people have asked me this so much recently. And the question is, or the answer is, I don't know. Okay. I have no idea. I'm a business major, majoring in marketing, minoring in sports management. So maybe go something sports marketing. Maybe stick around for my grad year and get, you know, my master's. Who knows? But I think I'm just trying to focus on this season and make the most of it, and then I'll figure out all that down the road.
Does it feel like it's gone by like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think this year I've looked up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. I'm getting up off the floor a little bit slower than I used to, but it's just the level of experience that I have now of just like being here, being comfortable. I'm ready to get going. So
talk to us about some of the personalities on the team. Right? Just some people we need to know about.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. You could kind of go on everyone, but of course, I mean Logan's my best friend. We're roommates. We've been on this journey together. It was kind of like when we committed here, it was like a hey, you go, I go. I mean, Baller is always gonna perform and be great teammate. Afena always brings the heat. I love her sassy attitude. I love it. Kendall Stowers is a big one.
Yeah.
She is a very, very pivotal piece for us this year. She just not only personality, like teammateship, everything, but play-wise, she jumps out of the gym. I've never seen anybody jump higher. So pumped to have her. Maddie Walk is just the most consistent human being ever. I've played with her since I was 15. So we just have a lot of talent, like a lot of talent, a lot of experience, and this is our year to do it. So
I find it interesting. All the names you're mentioning, these are household names now. Like so. Let's close out with that. How much volleyball has grown in this community over the last couple of years?
Crazy. So I've actually spent some time, I've been coaching at Skyline BCS, which is the new club around here. And just because I enjoy it, I love doing it. I love being around the younger girls and coaching and everything. But it has been mind-blowing because I noticed it at home, because I'm from the Houston area. I noticed it at home of just how much volleyball was growing. And then once I got here, it was like, whoa. Our student section, our fans, young girls coming to volleyball games, like it is through the roof. The 12th man has been amazing for us, and we just couldn't be more grateful for them. But volleyball as a whole, like every little girl wants to play volleyball right now. I'm sure you're experiencing this.
I am. And I can't wait to start going to matches. Right?
So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's close out with this. What's the environment going to be like at Reed this year?
Awesome. I mean, Jamie has put in a lot of work of making it the best environment in college volleyball, and we're trying to get there. We actually flipped our student section, so it's on the opposite side now, so it can be seen on camera. We do the lights go out when we win a set. Music's up, DJ Bear's great. So we're creating a really, really good environment that people probably don't want to come play us at our place. So we're excited.
Love that. Ava, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
We'll hit a break here. We'll come back with a short final segment of the 9 o'clock hour. Then Billy Liucci in the 10 o'clock. It's TexAgs Live. All right, we're back, TexAgs Live. As I awkwardly look at the wrong camera, let's go to Around Aggieland. Kaylee Dreyer is in the house. Kaylee, hello.
Good morning.
Cheerio.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Do we have a lot going on yet? Because the kids are here, school starts next week.
I feel like we have a lot going on because traffic is horrible.
Right.
And football's about to start, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. So what do we have?
So to start with Aggie football, they had 6 players earn all SEC honors by the league's head coaches. Running back Le'Veon Moss received a spot on the all SEC first team. 3 offensive linemen, Armaje Reed-Adams, Trezun III, and Chase Basantis, along with cornerback Will Lee III, were selected to the second team, and linebacker Torian York earned third team mention. And moving on to soccer, they faced Texas State on Wednesday night as the Aggies and the Bobcats ended in a draw with a score of 1-1. Trinity Buchanan stepped up once again late in the game, making the game-tying goal for the Aggies in the 81st minute. And last thing I have is Texas A&M volleyball took on the Baylor Bears on Wednesday night in an exhibition game. The Aggies won 2 of 4 sets to end in a draw with the Bears. Next up, on Monday, they'll travel to face number 11 Minnesota in a top 15 matchup.
Awesome stuff, Kaylee. Thank you very much. We return to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Mr. Nygren, what do you have for us?
So I'm sure you and Billy will touch on the 9-game SEC schedule.
Yep, we will.
And who you want to see A&M play in that out-of-conference game. But John in Somerville said for the old Ags, at least one of SMU, Baylor, TCU, or Texas Tech every year kind of rotating around. Would you be interested in that idea?
I'm okay with it. That's fine. I like the idea of every year alternating a big conference game, Big Ten, ACC, and that's it. Okay, Big 12.
The Big 12,
right? Like that. To me, every year alternating that would be the direction I would like to go. Because I'd like to go to Ohio State. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would
right?
be pretty cool.
Like I would like to see that. I'd like to go to Michigan. I wouldn't mind going Oregon. I mean, I like the idea of going to Oregon, except that 18-hour flight.
Oh yeah.
But we've done UCLA before.
Yeah.
Not going to bring that up, but USC maybe. Like that'd be fun. I wouldn't mind that at all. All right, we're going to hit a break. When we come back, we're going to do Around the SEC, and we're going to tap dance till Billy Liucci gets here. With Billy, we'll talk about that 9-game SEC schedule and some final camp notes as we start game week next week. That and more. You're listening to the world-famous TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We'll be back in 3 minutes, 34 seconds. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's talk about a top-of-mind drive-home sports show called The B-Team by the B-Teamer himself, Ryan Browninger. The B-Team will stream live on TexAgs.com and TexAgs YouTube page 3 days a week. That starts next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 4:15 to 5:45. Brian and his crew are going to tackle the latest across the sports landscape, ranging from the hot topics of the day to anything with a Texas A&M angle. With a laid-back approach that brings you into the TexAgs lobby with the lobby lizard himself. Tune in to the first episode on Tuesday at 4:15. Looking forward to Bronny doing that. It's the B Team with Ryan Browninger starting next week. All right, let's do Around the SEC, brought to you by the Jaxer Group. We've got Cade Bickham, the panicking Cade Bickham. Cade?
Yes, so
thank you.
I think I'll just bring up what we've been talking about all day. I think obvious for Around the SEC is 9-game schedule. I want to talk about these 4 teams. I want to Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Georgia. I think they're if I'm not mistaken, they're the 4 teams that we've played the least, that A&M has played the least since joining the conference. Which one are you most excited to see come to Kyle Field, and which team are you most excited to go to more often, go play at more often?
All right, so the teams are Kentucky, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and who's the other one? Georgia. All right. Tough guy David, like Olin did earlier, wants Georgia.
Yeah.
That's tough guy David, right? I want to see that when I'm feeling really good about where we are.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel really good where we are right now. I feel like we're going in that direction, right?
Yeah.
But I want to see Georgia. Of course I want to take on the top teams and beat the top teams, and I want them to experience Kyle Field on a magical night. That is by far, for me, like some of the best moments of my sports life, my A&M sports life, have happened when A&M is taking on these elite opponents, right? Mm-hmm. Those are the best. But I want them to happen with where mediocrity isn't the end result at the end of the year. So I would love to see Georgia. I don't care about seeing Kentucky. I don't care.
I don't want to go to Kroger Field.
I want to go once, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't move the needle for me. I love when Kentucky plays basketball here.
Yeah.
And A&M goes there. That part I like. Tennessee, I actually like going to Nashville. Or Nashville's not, but it's close, right? I like Tennessee, I should say, the state. So that's cool. And Vanderbilt, which is in Nashville. So Vanderbilt's never been here, or they have? No, they were here in 2020, right?
They've been here twice.
Twice, okay. So give me more Georgia, and then sprinkle in some of the... Let's get our program to a point. So like this, I think this answer will be different in a year. Right now, I'm like, I just want wins, baby. Let me stack some wins and recruit to those wins, the way Texas was able to in the Big 12. Give me some wins. So right now, I'm like, I don't mind having a mediocre team that A&M still has to prove that they can beat, right? A&M lost to some mediocre teams last year. So win those games, and then I'm all for it. A year down the road, which this is not going to happen this year, I might have come on, bring Georgia. Has Georgia taken a step back? Has A&M taken this huge step forward? Those are all going to play. But yeah, I think every year should have marquee games at Kyle Field. This year, you could say that there aren't marquee games, but I think Florida, when Florida comes to town, they're going to be a top 25 team.
I also think we kind of got a little spoiled last year with Notre Dame, LSU, and the Longhorns all coming in here. I think that you were like, okay, like this is what every season needs to be like.
Cade?
Yeah, I would agree. I think that, I guess, South Carolina has the potential to be a marquee game this year. It really depends on how the weapons play around Lenore Sellers, and then it also depends on how much their defense takes a step back, given that they lose a lot of people. But that one has the potential to be a marquee game as well, and I would assume that game and the Florida game, if they can flex it to a late afternoon or a night slot, then those will probably be the big ones this year at Kyle Field. But I agree with Reese. We definitely got spoiled last year. LSU was insane.
But LSU was an 8-win team.
At the time, though, they were the number 8 team in the country.
To me, marquee can be split into two things. games that become marquee, and then there's your traditional marquee games. Traditional marquee games mean like, no matter what, when Notre Dame comes to town, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, can it be a bigger deal when they're a top 10 team? Of course. But when Notre Dame comes to town, big deal. I think Alabama coming to town, big deal. Georgia coming to town, big deal. Some of the storylines may change throughout the years. Yeah. I think Lane Kiffin has made Ole Miss a big deal when they come to town. Not the same level of big deal, but he has made them a big deal.
A fan base gets excited when they see Ole Miss on their schedule.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Vanderbilt is a big deal.
No.
But Diego Pavia has made them fun to watch.
Yeah, you get a little more excited when a Diego Pavia Vanderbilt comes to town rather than Vanderbilt from the years past.
So who are the winners in this all of this, okay?
Fans.
The fans are the biggest winner.
Easily.
Right? Fans are absolutely the biggest winner. I think universities are a winner in this because there's another marquee home game for these schools, right? Yeah. Or marquee game to profit on. Those are the winners. And, I would say presidents and, board of directors, everybody, they're all winners. Losers in this? Coaches? Maybe?
Yeah.
I know there are coaches that think the fans like to bring them on. I don't care, right? But like, man, I'm coaching for my job here.
Bowl eligibility becomes a whole lot harder now.
Okay, so teams like Vanderbilt that are just trying to get to 6 wins sometimes.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State, not the Mike Leach era, trying to get to 6 wins. Now they're like, wait, I don't get that bonus game anymore. That easy one.
No, you get your two cupcakes and then you have to win 4
in the SEC.
Yeah, or the out of conference game.
Yeah, the out of conference game.
So that 6 win mark becomes a whole lot harder to get now that you've gone to 9 games.
Yeah. So, and then I think the Big Ten, I'm not going to call them a loser in this because this is what they asked for.
I think you could call them a loser.
They asked for this.
Yeah.
But they asked for it. Now they don't have, at least before you could have Signetti,
yeah.
And by the way, before his whole little, hey, Indiana's arrived, I kind of liked his storyline. Google me. I thought that was cool, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, bro.
He's kind of, it's like your 15 seconds of fame are over Signet. Like your Google me thing was cool for the season, and then you made the playoffs and then got boat raced again by Notre Dame.
But the reality is, I don't think that conference, I think that conference is so top heavy. And there were years that the SEC was very top heavy. I'm not saying that, but the SEC was also winning championships, which right now the Big Ten is winning championships. If you were to poll America, would they have an SEC team winning the national championship or a Big Ten winning the national championship this year?
I would say SEC team.
I think most people would probably be picking Texas this year.
Probably. And I think you could consider the Big Ten a loser because the only leverage they had over the SEC was that they were at 9 games. Well, guess what? Now the SEC's at 9 games. You don't have that quote-unquote advantage anymore.
No, you don't. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to report that Billy Liucci is in studio here on TexAgs Live. Why did you make that sound effect?
Just that voice you did.
What,
started you off on the wrong foot.
My broadcaster voice?
Yes.
It annoys you? The one you've known for 20 plus years?
That's your normal voice.
That's the same voice.
What is that cup?
Batman? I said it, then I expected some kind of response.
No response. I just couldn't see what it was.
Oh, okay. But I know you can see because you saw a bear.
That cup's a lot smaller than a bear.
Yeah. Oh. But you saw it 40 miles away through trees.
It was probably 20 yards away.
Okay.
Through trees at 40 miles an hour. One of the most inexplicable, unlikely sightings probably Yellowstone National Park has ever seen. When you consider me, my attention span, actually, I take that part back. I was dialed in. I was looking.
You were focused.
I spotted a bunch of elk just on the drive-by, and I'm not talking about the ones in the open field. Those are the ones I can't see. Oh, you see that herd of elk? No, where? Right there, right under the where? If it's too far, it's like and they blend in. But driving through, boom, Grizzly.
Grizzly Bear.
We're gonna have Seth on just to save some time here. I'm gonna get Seth, JT, and maybe Evan if he can get up here. His daughter is a freshman here now, so he might be able to mix in like a little daddy-daughter lunch and come do the show. And we're going to do a little podcast. People can watch it if they want or not. And we're going to do like a 30-minute, 45-minute, hour-long just recap.
All right, this is where we...
Because we can.
And we will.
And you know, one of those shirts you wanted to make?
Yeah. I make a lot of shirts.
We ask and we will. It was something really weird.
Really cheesy. Hey, we're going to play a song for you later. Let's go through this 9-game SEC schedule.
Okay.
And
hot news.
Yesterday came
hot
down.
Hot news off the press.
You know, and it's interesting. In retrospect, OB talked about this. We almost saw it happening, developing once the playoff committee decided to change the criteria when they announced that they're going to look at strength of schedule being a much bigger deal. That's kind of what the SEC was asking for. That was kind of their green light to move forward.
Yeah, it's almost like they were waiting for that to happen. So when you do that, we'll do this. And you do not think that was the way Greg Sankey did it? I find it interesting. I saw a couple of dummies, and I call them dummies because they have to say it in such a way where they're just like yelling and screaming and calling. You know, when they have to call someone out in this yelling, screaming, insulting way, or you go after like Sankey or thank you, or they go after, you know, you or me or Zane or Brawny during baseball season or whatever, or anybody that just, instead of just stating a fact that you think, hey, you're wrong about this and here's why, or that was a bad decision and here's why. If you feel the need to do that, most people can't do that on this without being a jigus. That's short for jackass. That's short for a donkey.
Oh.
They can't. They just get so upset or so like they see it as such an opportunity to like belittle someone. They can't say it in such a way, and it's just the true mark of a simpleton, a loser, or someone that's just too stupid to get it. And these people that went on the attack on the SEC, well, you're bending the knee to the Big Ten, and you're like are you that stupid that you think Greg Sankey in the Southeastern Conference, anything about his leadership at any point along the way, whether you love him, hate him, despise him, you have to look at it and go, everything he's done is calculated, it's negotiated from a position of strength, and he knows what he's doing, whether you like it or not. It has, if you think that he just made the SEC weaker with this move, then I just don't think you're following along, and I don't think you get it. They have now positioned themselves. He's wanted this. It's the coaches,
right,
that haven't wanted it, and we know the reasons why. They want job security. They want to stay. It is the toughest league, and they do look and go. At Clemson, you don't have to go through this. SMU, like if you're A&M or Texas right now, you're going, who's got it easier than SMU? It's like, what in the hell? You're looking at Notre Dame. Who's got it easier than Notre Dame in terms of what they can do every year? So, but the Big Ten and now in the Big 12 and now ACC is going to end up doing it. They're all going to be at 9. Sankey wanted it anyway because there's a new TV contract that's ultimately coming up, and you just added X more number of games to the Southeastern Conference TV package. Thank you. Okay? And the fans of your league can say, thank you. I mean, look, I'll defend it till the end, all these people from other conferences that bitch about that November weekend when the SEC plays all these, no-name teams. It doesn't matter where you play them. Most of you guys are playing them in September, and I don't care if it's an FCS or a low-level group of 5, or if it's, it does. A lot of these low-level group of 5s were very recently FCS. So, like, I don't care about that. You're playing a gimme football game, unless your program absolutely sucks. It's a gimme, and there's usually 3 of them in other leagues, and in this, 2 to 3, and in the SEC, there's 3 to 4. Most of the SEC, it's 3 because the SEC teams do challenge themselves at the highest level. When you look at A&M Notre Dame, you look at Clemson, LSU, you look at Georgia playing Clemson last year, you look at Bama going Wisconsin and Florida State this year. We can go up and down. It happens every single year. The SEC challenges themselves non-conference to the highest level, and they typically beat the crap out of the other leagues in the non-conference. And then they play usually 3 gimmies versus 2 for the other leagues. Okay, you're also playing in the Southeastern Conference, which I will give credit to the Big Ten. I think they have closed the gap. Someone made a great point, though. Last year, Michigan and Ohio State, with this new thing that the SEC is going to do and say, hey, one of your non-conference has to be against the Power 4. Michigan, Ohio State back-to-back years, 8, was it 8? 6 or 8 6 non-conference games, none against the Power 4 team. The years they won the championship. So, and then you look at Michigan this year, what do? They come out in September, play a Power 4 team in Texas, get drug up and down the field. So, might happen to Ohio State too in a week. I don't think it'll go that way, but there's a real chance they lose that game. So, look, with that said, it's very interesting to see the SEC adding this game and then doing the deal that Sankey said about playing the Power 4 every year. Meanwhile, you see Cignetti running his big mouth
yep.
in Indiana, this buffoon. He'll be the next head coach here now, and not anytime soon, Elko, but like
that's how it works.
Me on camera, Cignetti, buffoon, but this buffoon's running his mouth, and they're dropping games again. Who did he drop? Was it Virginia? I think it was Virginia. Yeah. They dropped Virginia. Other teams in the Big Ten are dropping because they thought they were gonna. Hey, if we're having to play 9 games, we're gonna start dropping these hard non-conference games to give ourselves a chance. Well, now they've dropped a bunch of these games, and now the new criteria comes out for what it's going to take to make the college football playoff. And now the SEC, it's chess, not checkers. Greg Sankey plays chess. Kirk Cignetti plays checkers. And any fans that thought otherwise are ignorant,
right?
Really stupid. And the Big Ten dropped some of these non-conference games. Meanwhile, here comes the SEC to go, okay, now we're going to add a 9th because we see what the new rules are, the new criteria to make the playoffs. And we're going to make all of our teams play a Power 4 team in non-conference. We're going to take full advantage of this rule, and we're going to start getting 9-3 teams into this conference over your 10-2s. Ball game. That's what happened yesterday. That's exactly what happened, and I'm just telling you, it's pretty simple to see. And the other thing that why they were waiting for this, they knew, David, that this playoff formula, the criteria, they did the numbers, you had the BCS and all that. Then they had a committee, and that system was set up for 4 teams. When you go to 12, this year, they did it with the same system.
Right.
That was not designed, that system was not designed for 12 and all the different moving parts of non-conference champions and Power 5, like none of it was built for 12. It was built for 4. So everyone knew very quickly they had to change the criteria for 12. So Sankey knew it. The SEC ADs knew it. Everyone knew it. And they were sitting there, we're going to wait. And then we'll decide what we're going to do with our schedule model. And that's exactly what happened. This was a massive win day yesterday for the Southeastern Conference.
Before we hit a break, we actually were late for it already.
I'm sure you are.
Initially, it was a couple years ago when this conversation started happening, Mississippi State, Texas, and LSU. Do you think that is that from the prior regime?
I don't think that's. I think people are. I think you'd be assuming that.
Okay.
And I think you might be assuming. I think I wouldn't be safe to assume that everything's the same.
Okay.
And by the way, nothing was ever official.
Sure.
That's just what.
Chatter,
and I'd heard
right?
that from reliable people, so I believe that was how it would have gone had they done that 2 years ago. And I think you'll have a lot of these pretend experts that are going to pretend that that's how it's going to be, and that means they don't know because it's not necessarily how it's going to go.
Okay.
But I will say this. I am very, I mean, it's going to be Texas, first of all. It's going to be Texas. In fact, say before you go to a break here, let me see what else I feel good about.
I like when he looks on his text for information. This is fun. I don't mind
I
taking my
actually
time.
took a screenshot of
Oh,
one of my texts.
That's
I sent
never
some
good.
text to myself.
I do that
to
sometimes.
Confirm this.
Actually, I've never done that. I had emailed myself.
You said, I just wanted to confirm. I was getting a little confused between one of the teams because I was like, did they tell me Arkansas? No, but I think from what I heard, you could feel pretty good about Texas and LSU being two of those, which is what I want. Like, I don't care about the third one. I do because, depending on what the program is, it's going to dictate how tough your schedule is every year. But I think it's safe to assume it won't. I think it's unsafe to assume it will be Mississippi State.
Is it safe to assume that the next team is somebody we be able to guess?
David,
I'm just trying to work you for information.
I don't want you to work me for information that people pay for while I'm on live radio for
That's
free.
a tease for the premium board, Texas. You're really shaking your head.
Yeah, that was a disappointing. Zane, get in here. Nick Savage, somebody, please.
Good.
I'm out.
I was going to do Heritage Films, but now I don't even know if I want to tell Billy's story. Chance McClain would have done a great job telling his story, but now he won't.
Chance could have done the Yellowstone story.
This is true. You actually should
We could have brought him along.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe next time.
God, that would have been a great. We should do. You know how like Barstool does all these. And I don't want to ever do what they do, but they have like they go to camp, they go to sporting event, they go to a beach house is what they're doing right now. Some of these challenges. We should do a TexAgs Yellowstone trip
and have Chance and his team go and
follow it.
Yeah.
And just do some kind of eliminator challenge.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
Like who goes down to a grizzly, who
that's not a good
falls
story.
prey to altitude, who
that could happen.
sprains an ankle on a hike,
Yeah.
who, and you just keep going, who gets too drunk and can't handle it.
So far, I'm winning this battle. Everything you've said, I'm winning the battle.
You wouldn't sprain an ankle.
Nah.
You didn't.
Have you seen my ankles?
You didn't pull a hamstring in the first minute of a league soccer
That's sprinting.
team
There's no sprinting.
when you got here and took the job.
Yeah. And I still played.
And I saw you limping like a day later. So what happened? And, oh, no.
Pulled a hamstring.
Pulled hamstring.
This has a lot to do with Heritage.
Did you
Film.
limp for 6 months after?
Maybe I
adult
just have a
soccer
gangster
league?
lean, Billy, that you haven't gotten used to. And Chance could tell that story as well at yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50 here in a bit. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. It is time for 25 in 25, presented by La Casa Tequila, raised in Aggieland and rooted in the SEC. Billy, number one on the list was Le'Veon Moss.
Should be. I think that we saw that last year. I don't think any reason to think it wouldn't be this year. This is a guy that, I think if he wasn't a running back, would be A&M's highest projected draft prospect. That running back position is just tricky to tell. But I think he's one of the most prototypical NFL backs playing college football right now. He's a guy that I remember when, people forget, A&M flipped him from Bama.
Mm-hmm.
And he's from Louisiana, and LSU made a furious run at him late. I think they've tried to get him out of the portal more than once since he left the state. He stayed loyal to A&M, even through coaching change. But I know Jimbo Fisher told me when they signed Le'Veon that he thought, after that first impression, like where the true freshmen are right now for Mike Oko, he had told me he thought he could end up being one of the best to ever come through A&M. Sounded like a lot at the time. Now you watch him and you wonder what last season would have looked like had he not gotten injured versus what he'd be. Now, in fairness, he might be in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that is some good thing. I would love to see Le'Veon be able to fulfill his dream and provide for his family. He's got the little kids. But what happened. He's back. And I think he's going to be one of the best running backs in the Southeastern Conference, if not all of college football. And it's because, the guy's got power. He's got speed. He's got a throwback mentality at the position.
Mm-hmm.
He is everything that you want, that you think of when you think of a Southeastern Conference tailback. Going back to when, if you're 70 years old, this guy could have played in the Southeastern Conference. If you're 50, you remember the running backs when you were younger. He's that style. If you've been out of college 10 years and you remember some of those Bama backs and those LSU backs, the great stable Phil Fulmer had at Tennessee, what Georgia's recently had under Kirby in these several years. That is, Le'Veon Moss is that caliber and that style of runner. And he is A&M's, no matter what happens, I think the Aggies are going to throw the ball deep down the field this year more. I think Marcel Reed's going to get it done with his arm and his feet. But all of that aside, I think Le'Veon Moss, more than any singular player, carries A&M's offensive identity on his back this year. It certainly did last year. And when he got hurt against South Carolina, it shouldn't have, but that's what happens in year one under a head coach. You don't have the team built up like you want it, and they were very dependent on him. And when he got hurt, it cost them. It derailed their season.
Yep.
And that's nothing. I think Amari Daniels stepped up and played his butt off. But Le'Veon Moss, it's not a coincidence that as soon as he went down against South Carolina, it put a ton of pressure on Marcel. Then against Texas, you saw those short yardage failures. Against Auburn, this is a guy that maybe in that fourth quarter, if you're giving it to Moss, you're just feeding it to number 8. It probably looks a lot like it did in Jerry World against Arkansas. And if you go back and look in A&M's biggest games last year, where was Le'Veon Moss? He won the Arkansas game. Those runs in that fourth quarter were spectacular. He had the back-breaking touchdown run against Missouri there to start the third quarter to say, hey, this game's over, in case you were wondering. He had some huge plays against LSU during that comeback. I think even, pretty sure even against, well, the Mississippi State game was interesting because he had a couple of long runs called back from holding penalties that would have probably put the game away. He's a finisher. He's a closer. They didn't have him. He's a short yardage stud. He's a goal line stud. They didn't have him down the stretch for that, and it was a killer. And they're so happy to have him back right now. Mike Elko's been very careful and very deliberate with how they've brought him back throughout camp. So I don't know if it's a week 1, week 2 heavy load for Le'Veon Moss type thing, but I do think there's some level of buildup that you want to have before Notre Dame.
Well, and also they don't have to lean on him as much as they
No.
leaned on him last year.
Yeah. And that, I know in some instances you go, well, there's going to be games when they do, but over the course of a season, how great would it be to have a fresh Le'Veon Moss in November when you're hopefully playing for something bigger?
Hey, and before we go, because he was number 2 yesterday, Trey Zune and Le'Veon Moss, I mean, like 1 and 2. When you've got one of the anchors of your offensive line and your dude, 1 and 2, just talk a little bit on Zune for a moment.
Well, I love what Zune does and means to the team in terms of this is a guy that really played as a true freshman, hurt all year, at tackle, in the SEC, ups and downs, and he's just gotten better each year. He's pretty quiet, dude. Becomes more and more of a leader through just how he carries himself, his relationships within that O-line room and on the team. He's one of the more respected guys in maroon and white. Came back, could have gone to the NFL. It's probably a middle round draft pick. Came back this year. He's one of the better linemen in the SEC and one of the least talked about. And just one of those players that in today's day and age of social media and fans piling on and writing a guy off, like people that didn't realize what he was playing through his freshman year, felt like a lot of people way prematurely wrote off a dude that started almost every game as a true freshman at tackle in the SEC. It was some of the dumbest crap I've ever seen, to be honest with you. And all he's done is gotten better and better and better. And he's now one of the more, I think, appreciated and respected guys in that locker room. But also I think fans have now come to realize this dude's been an anchor. And whether he's playing tackle or center, I would love to see them have the chance to play him at center because, A, that's what he's going to play in the NFL, be a center, maybe a guard, but that's his future. And I also think if that can somehow happen, and you got to get Fathery where he needs to be, but the crown over on the at right tackle, Fathery at left, Zune at center, that creates a great, I don't want to say change up, but a great option to look at, which they were doing throughout fall camp off and on, to see like, hey, this might be your best look. And then you got a guy, Mark Naboo, who can play center or either guards, but like Trey Zune and Naboo, but we're talking about Trey Zune here today, are two of these guys that give Adam Cushing a hell of a lot of flexibility when it comes to what he does on the O-line.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with a little more. If your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with Aggies, check out the Association of Former Students. They bring Aggies of all ages together during their awesome marquee events held throughout the year. We're talking all Aggie hullabaloo, Aggie Ring Day, the gathering that welcomed tens of thousands of guests. And there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities to get your brand in front of those attendees, and they offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand, which includes title sponsorship, naming, on-site presence, activation, and recognition in social media posts, and much, much more. There's also advertising opportunities in both the Texas Aggie magazine and the Aggie News newsletter, which are seen by over 230,000 people. So if your business is ready to engage with Aggies, choose a partner that's been with the organization supporting the Aggie network for the last 140 plus years. For more information on options available through the association, please email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. It is the Association of Former Students. Billy, something to ponder. I don't think we've talked a lot about this, and you may not think it's a real topic, but there's been a lot made for obvious reasons about finishing games, finishing the season, right? How about slow starts? Because slow starts were a thing last year. Arkansas, LSU, South Carolina, Auburn, and slow can be taken multiple ways. There's blowout slow, and there's Mississippi State scored first. There's falling behind in the first quarter.
I think what I would call, like, do you say Notre Dame was a slow start? Well,
I didn't put that on there.
No, but I'm saying, like, it was offensively against a great defense in your first game. It wasn't defensively where they were in single digits at halftime. So to me, what I would call slow starts for this football team, I wouldn't even have called Texas. I mean, they never scored, so the offense didn't get off to a start. But, I mean, they moved the ball on their first drive and could have had a field goal, but went for it and got stopped inside the 20 or whatever. But that game, they were trying to hang in, and Texas went up, 14-0, maybe midway through the second quarter. That's just, you were playing a team that over the course of the year had proven to be a better football team. The slow starts to me were that just really stand out were Auburn and South Carolina.
LSU was a slow start.
LSU, yeah, that's a good one. LSU. Those were the games that to me were slow starts.
Arkansas, if I remember correctly, you were down 7-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, Arkansas. Again, I'll go back to Arkansas though and say that was a very young, inexperienced Marcel Reed, where I think you were playing that very close to the vest.
Mississippi State scored first. Not that mattered, but
I don't consider that a slow start. You had 20, 21, 23 points at halftime. Yeah. So I don't consider that one. So, I mean, if you don't score in your first two possessions, that doesn't automatically make it a slow start.
Sure.
I think LSU is a great example. South Carolina going down 17-3, and then absolutely Auburn. That was the only game where, like, to me, South Carolina, you can look at it and just go, they missed tackles. That's why they were behind like they were in that environment. But Auburn was like, what team is this we're watching? They didn't even answer the bell. Auburn came for a fight. A&M didn't even show up in time for kickoff. But then they regrouped, they gathered themselves, they came back and took a lead. It still matters, though, because that start, ultimately, you lost because you couldn't get a fourth down stop. You lost because when you needed a first down on a 1st and 10 and maybe ice it, you drop a snap. You drop a pass that would have maybe ended the game inside the red zone. You drop a pass on a 2-point conversion that would have extended the game. You don't get a stop on 4th down to end the game. Like, all of those things are why you lost, but really you lost because you fell behind 21-0. Because had you not done that and you just played it even for the first quarter, A&M wins that game by 10 points. So the slow start cost them, I think, absolutely one game. And it could have cost them LSU and Arkansas. If you replayed those things again, it could have cost you. But I think it's certainly something. But let's ask yourself why. Why slow starts, David?
But I ask you why slow starts?
Well, I think let's be real honest here. You had a first-year OC, a new system. First-year OC bringing a brand new system that none of these guys had played in. You had a first-year blocking scheme, and you had a quarterback that didn't start until game 3, and who had really never played college football. He played one bowl game off the bench. That was it. You combine all those things, and then for the last, 4 games of your season, you were without your star running back. There are a lot of reasons that we could go deeper into that, but there are a lot of reasons why this offense would take a little while some weeks, especially against better defenses, to get going. Arkansas had a pretty good defense. I don't know if you followed their season.
Yeah.
Pretty good defensively. Notre Dame, elite defense.
South Carolina.
Probably, like, I don't know what the numbers are anymore. I'm looking ahead to this year. Last year, Notre Dame had a top 5 defense in college football. Texas had a top 5 defense in college football. South Carolina had probably a top 3 defense in the SEC, 3 or 4. So in those, the outlier there is Auburn. And, LSU, I don't think they were that good. You also were without one of your star guard with the guy in there that was getting eaten alive. Connor Wigman, that game was bad. You go watch it again and watch how little time he had to throw. And then it got into his head.
Yeah.
It was the right move to take him out, but that got into his head. It was almost like David Carr, because you also lost Armage. So there were times where it was Dewberry and Shanahan in there.
Mm-hmm.
And LSU on that defensive interior were wearing them out.
Yeah.
So I think there's a reason for it. And every one of those reasons I said, year 2 of Colin Klein, everybody back in a new system, year full off season as a starter for Marcel Reed and 6 or 7 starts, whatever it was. Le'Veon Moss back, like you mentioned earlier, a better running back stable because you didn't have Owens, and E.J. Smith looks a lot better. Now you're including Jamarian Morrow. So, every single reason I gave you why they seem to have a slow start in, roughly half the games that mattered, let's say, I think every one of those reasons is gone.
All right, let's hit a break here. We'll come back, talk about some quarterback battles that A&M is, or teams that A&M is going to face with quarterback battles. That and more. It's TexAgs Live. We're back, TexAgs Live. Michael Fitz on the YouTube page. If you listen to National People, Stanford Steve, for example, he said that the offense looked awful in practice leading up to the Notre Dame game last year.
It's funny because I was with Stanford Steve when he was in town for that, and I believe we had lunch at Fuego that day. It was where we went. He was in town.
That Thursday, maybe?
I believe it was Friday.
Okay.
It might have been Thursday, but he was in town for one practice.
A Friday practice at that.
I think it might. Yeah, was it a Friday? I think it might have been a Thursday practice. But he was in town for one practice. So yeah, if that was his takeaway, that's one practice. That doesn't. I don't know what the texter thinks that means. You could say, man, there were some warning signs right before that game that it wasn't going to be a sharp offensive game. If you took one guy being at one practice and said that was a great indicator, you guys sometimes just look for reasons to like discount the people that try to bring you the news every day. It is what it is. I don't think anyone that watched that offense throughout the season. What did I say all freaking offseason last year? What was my concern? And like, you guys, because of like Fitz here, because I don't yell and scream and say these wide receivers suck, they're terrible, they shouldn't play, they'll never do anything, because that's not my style, and I don't think it was that bad. But I did say wide receiver was a major concern. Who was going to get open? Who were the guys that could create separation? Who were the guys that could get over the top? We talked about that the whole offseason.
Yep.
It was my number one concern, just like my number one concern this year with this defensive front is the run stopping for the teams that are truly equipped to exploit it. And one of those is, unfortunately, early in the season, Notre Dame. So they're going to have to either erase that concern in one game. We're like, damn, okay, well, if they can do that, it's on for this football team. If they beat Notre Dame and slow down Love or stuff them, my whole tune for this season changes, because that's my biggest concern. When they played Notre Dame last year, my biggest concern were the wide receivers and getting open. And they failed miserably in that regard. So it didn't erase my concern at all. Now, but no one, and I mean no one that watches football team throughout camp would have ever thought that Connor Wigman was going to go out and play the way he did against Notre Dame. And I don't care what you saw on a Thursday or Friday. If you just saw one day, then it's still not a large enough body of work to. You were still guessing what they were going to look like that day. And to me, like, had Connor looked like that, Marcel Reed is your season starter against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Just didn't. And it just didn't work out. I do think he got hurt in that game. I think it kind of just changed everything for him mentally.
Fitz does say, as a loyal and happy subscriber,
yes,
I am not trying to discount anyone. We know
yeah,
that,
yeah.
Mr.
But
Fitz.
what my point is on all that is he watched a practice. It wasn't like he and I talk often about this football team in terms of kind of telling him what I'm seeing, and so, that was, I think, Notre Dame game, the reason they lost, a big part of it was my concern, was they couldn't do anything in the passing game to back these guys up off the run. This year, I do think they'll be able to do that with the transfer wide receivers.
Got to drop it there. Marty Smith on Monday's game week. Thanks so much. We'll see you then.